Welcome to Thursday night here in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. Hope you're having a great day, morning or evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. And I've done a couple of very short broadcasts over the last couple of days which have been unnarrated, if I can use that term. That is, I haven't been speaking, I've just basically been showing images of cars that I've been creating in the livery editor here on GT Sport, and I've just finished creating the car you can see on the screen, so I thought I'd just jump on, do a quick broadcast, talk a bit about that. We're going to jump into a room, hopefully find a car show room, and I can actually enter a couple of the models that I have built over the last 4 or 5 days. Just a quick comment on this particular car. For those of you who are up to speed on the game, there was an update today, and along with that update came the inclusion of the E46 M3, obviously a BMW, and as you can see here, it is the Laguna Seca Blue variant that I have picked, and the reason that I picked this colour is because this is the exact colour of an E46 BMW M3 that I owned for under 2 years actually. I acquired it in 2001. It was the vehicle that BMW Australia had used to go around the country for the launch of the E46 M3 in Australia, and they used it in all the car shows that they did, because back in 2001 here in Australia they were still doing car shows. They don't really do them anymore, but they were doing it at the time, and my particular car was the car that was used at the car shows. It had the matching Laguna Seca Blue leather interior with the extended leather trim and the piano gloss finish, to be exact, and it looked fantastic on the inside. My wife at the time, however, didn't feel the same way. She felt that it caused us to cause too much attention to be sought whilst we were driving around, and she didn't like that. That wasn't the only thing she didn't like. She didn't like the fact that it didn't have a rear door, and we had an infant child at the time, my lovely daughter, and so getting her in and out of her baby capsule was a bit awkward too, with it being a 2-door, and she was also frightened to drive it, and she also suffered from car sickness, and she found that the way the vehicle effectively rode the bumps, being, a firmer suspension ride, also meant that she suffered a bit more from car sickness. So she wasn't a fan for all those reasons. And yeah, so suffice to say, I didn't get to keep it for as long as I would like to, and I went from it to an E60 530i, for those of you who know their BMW models. Anyway, so that's the car, as you can see, and I have obviously done some design work on the livery. I couldn't help myself. As much as I loved the colour and how beautiful it looked out in the sun, and the fact that it was a very original and rare colour in the model, I just couldn't help myself, having access to the livery editor, to just do what I'll call highlights. And I think that's a fair comment, that it is a highlight livery. It's not a full-blown let's go nuts livery. I've gone for the colour code wheels. I've gone for the a white skirting look, if you can call it that. I've coloured the front grille, put in the M Sport colours, as you can see there on the grille. Put a number plate on it, my M3, very creative, I know, I apologise. And a highlight on the bonnet bulge, as they call it. Somebody's liking some activity. I haven't put anything on to Scape's photos today, so that's interesting. Yeah, so, and obviously the side strip or the door protector strip, whichever term you want to use for that side strip that goes down the side of the car. But other than that, oh, and a BMW rondelle on the roof. But apart from that, it is bog standard. If I exit out now, which I can do because it's all saved, what I might do is I might just quickly jump into Photoscapes and take two odd shots, and quickly pump them into the Scapes Photos library for everybody to have a look at. And you'll also get to see the colour out in the sun. Then we'll jump into a room. Like I said, I do want to find a sunny location, so we might go with the cherry blossoms. I think that tends to give you some good light. In particular, I like this one here too. It seems to be a good location. I've done a few photos here. This is like a house in Tokyo, basically. You might have just noticed then in my garage when I just went to click on this that there was another car that is in the exact new, standard trim. So I'll keep that one as the standard car. I'm just going to play around with this to get some lighting effect. I know I've talked a bit about using Scapes photos and the effects and everything. Yeah, that's a good one, I think. We might play beam it, I think. We might whack some steering angle on as well. Yep. These are just little things that just make it look nicer as it sits there in the photo. Your call as to whether you want to do that sort of stuff. A bit of a tilt, I always find that makes the photo look good as well. Bit of effect, I guess. Let's see what it looks like. When this is finished rendering, I will flip it so we get a rear quarter shot as well. Yeah, that looks okay. Save that. I'll return. Do a quick flip. Now you can see the rear of it. I might try the morning. Yeah, okay, that looks okay too. I don't mind that. So we'll go with that one for the rear end shot. Actually, we might put the brake lights on too. Bit of effect as well. There we have it. No, I'll leave it there. I won't zoom it in or out. I can stay like that. Maybe center it a bit better. Looks a bit better. And kabam! Now the one thing that I was going to do that I haven't done is go in and change the suspension or the ride height. At the moment it's on standard ride height, riding on standard sport soft tyres, as you can see by the tread. I will go into a room and adjust that before I go into a car show, mainly because I want to get rid of the traction control and have better tyres on it. So, but yeah, that looks okay, I think. So we'll quickly jump into the. That'll do us. Oops. And we go out. This will take a few seconds. And then we'll go and contribute, as they say. This won't take long. I'm only going to do 2 photos. I'll go and do more later. Tips for anybody that does this, if I haven't already mentioned it in previous broadcasts, my naming convention when it comes to the search tags is brand of the car, model of the car basically, and then my, if you like, my channel ID, Iflowboy. Iflowboy at YouTube. And then, you know, look, it's always a good idea to put a comment in on every photo you attach. I think it's, you know, if you're going to expect people or want people to look at your photo, I think the least you can do is give them a bit of information about the car, or, you know, why you did the delivery, any information about the car that you can share. You know, in this case, you know, I'm saying in the colour that I owned, and then I'll write the colour. You don't have unlimited text in this area, so you do have to be succinct with your wording. But it's enough for you to tell a little bit of a... Oops. No, that's fine. Those of you who know BMW well will know that all of the M cars have paint colour names that are racetrack names. So hence this one's Laguna Seca blue, Monza red, Estoril green. Now I'm being tested, I know. I think they did a Bathurst orange from memory. Yeah, there's obviously lots more colours. Daytona violet. I'm struggling to remember the other names because there's obviously quite a few colours, and they're all special M colours. You can't supposedly buy those colours for standard or non-M BMW cars. Just seeing what I can get away with. I haven't put how many pics I'm putting up, but that's okay. I'll just, because it's only 2 at the moment, I don't really have a problem with. And sorry, I'm jumping around with my speech here. I always say thank you. Again, you know, if you're expecting people to look at your photo and you want them to like the photo, you hope that they appreciate it the way that you appreciate what you've created. Always nice to say thanks. Alright, 1 down, 1 to go. The second one will be quicker because I will perhaps talk a bit less, or at least I will be able to just follow the text naturally now that I've written it. It should just follow suit in the predictive text window at the top as you're typing. And then we can go jump into a car show, and I can show you a couple of the other cars that I've created over the last 5 or 6 days, and you can see some of them there on the screen. There is another one that I'm in the middle of creating. It's another Mustang, mainly because I realised I had 4 or 5 GR4 class or category Mustangs that were in standard daily gift or standard game livery colours. So I've started putting liveries on a few of them. Ideally what I'm doing at the moment is I'm avoiding buying cars because I'm trying to accrue enough money to get my second $20 million Ferrari to move on and get all the more expensive cars like the Aston Martin, the Lamborghini Miura, etc. Oops, hit the right button, it always helps, which I just didn't do then. Sorry guys. But you can see now how it's just following. Oh, blue blood, where's that coming from? And I have messed that up, but that's okay. Almost done. Okay. Kaboom. Done. I think I've already shared some of the other photos that I've already done for these other cars, so I'm not going to go and create any more photos or upload any more photos for now. I'll just jump straight out of here and we'll jump into a lobby, hopefully a car show lobby, and we can go into a couple of rounds of the car shows, and you'll get to see not only my cars but some other cars as well. Okay, what I normally do, and I might as well do it now if you'll forgive me for a few minutes, is I always like to see what's been happening with the cars that I upload in terms of people looking at them, any comments they make, particularly because you know, they might be asking you a question or something like that. They might sort of say, oh, can you follow me, can you look at my photos or something like that, and again I think it's just a courtesy thing to respond or act or reciprocate. So yeah, so going in here and having a look and seeing what's happened. So those two photos, obviously one's a minute old and one's 3 minutes old, so no surprises that there's no responses yet to them. And look, I might not get any responses. People might look at those photos and go, yuck, that's horrible. You know, the thing about design, fashion, whatever you want to call it, is that it is subjective, and you know, some people might absolutely hate what you think is beautiful. So yeah, we'll see. So not a lot of activity on those cars. The Lamborghini has had some activity, I see. Super fantastic, great work. Okay. I actually do quite like this Diablo, to be honest. If I think about the livery itself, let's comment on that one. Super cool. Okay, thank you. Oh, this one's had a fair few views already. Cool. Okay, excellent. No comments there, so I don't need to look at that. I expect the rest of them are probably fairly static. What tends to happen is because of the volume of images that players upload, your images quickly disappear down in the pile, if I can call it that, and so as a consequence you tend to have an immediate reaction of activity, and then it sort of tapers off within a half hour to an hour. And I often wonder when I see some of the more popular images that are on there, I wonder whether that's more a factor of the number of game followers that person has, because obviously when you follow somebody and you have the notifications turned on, as soon as they do something in the game you receive a notification to let you know that somebody did something. So if you're following somebody and you get notified that they've uploaded an image, you can jump in there and you know, have a look at it. So if you've got thousands of followers, then it stands to reason that you're likely to get a lot more likes. I'm still relatively new to this space, and I think I'm still sub 100 followers on the game, so you know, I don't have the expectation of receiving the same scale of views and likes or comments. I don't think there's anything incredibly new there. Excellent photo, top design. Oh, there you go. See, Carl Fighter has suggested that I go and I know I have looked at Carl's stuff before because I remember him liking other images, so I've already done what he's asked me to do there. Okay. Yep, okay. It's my 3M3s. Alright, look, I think that's enough for now. I don't see any massive change in comments or anything like that. Yeah, okay, let's leave it there for now and find a room, as they say. Quick tip. Usually a car show is ran in the Tokyo East Inner Loop track. If there is going to be a car show, it's usually there. At the moment, it doesn't appear there is. And again, that's not unusual. It's a Thursday night here, so that means it's kind of Thursday morning, you know, in other locations around the globe, or afternoon. So again, the expectation is that there wouldn't be a lot of activity right now. If I was to stay on here for another 2 hours, it's almost a 99% reality that there would be a car show. I'll just check what other rooms are open in Tokyo. There's a real driving one. Don't know what that one is, but I would suggest it's just a real driving one. I do not know how to read Arabic, so I apologise that I don't know what that is saying. Most of these rooms appear to be Arabic opened or orientated, I should say. Yeah, okay. Like I said, there you go, still mainly real play or simulated road driving. It's another term that they use. Didn't try South Inner Loop, did I? Yeah, there's nothing really going on there where there's... It's probably the biggest out of the lot, isn't it? A little bit of a mix there. Look, I'll jump in and have a look just in case they are doing a car show. It's possible they are. Free run usually means that they're not racing, that's for sure. So it could be they're doing drifting, could be they're doing, you know, many different things, but let's just have a look. Like I said, I'm going to adjust the settings when we get into the room. I'll reduce the ride height, put my kind of standard setup spec on the car, power it up a bit. That's the funny thing about doing all the liveries, you know, before I really started getting into the liveries, I would be wasting what they call mileage exchange points. If you look up the top right there, you'll see there's 3 different figures. There's the amount of credits or money credits that you have on here. At the moment I'm at 6.364 million. Then there's the mileage exchange points, which are 12,962, and 41.8 kilometers. That's obviously the amount of distance that I've driven in the current 24-hour period on the game. So yes, normally it used to be up at 100,000, which is the maximum mileage points you can accrue, and I just used to waste points because I'd be at that limit and you only get to use them, or I only got to use them once a week when the mileage exchange would be updated with new things, and you'd maybe spend, I don't know, 10 to 12,000 credits. But over the week you'd accumulate way more than that. But ever since I started doing all my liveries, and you know, I have churned out a lot in a fairly short time. I'm up to 196, I think. And they've mainly been done over the last, I would say, 3.5 to 4 months. And so as a consequence, I'm very rarely above 20,000 mileage exchange points because I'm spending most of my time doing the design rather than driving. Anyway, I'm going to jump into the settings and sort the car out. So I will drop the weight and I will up the power, as they say. And you can see that burnt the best part of 2,000 mileage points just doing that. So that's part of the reason why, if you think about the volume of vehicles that I'm bringing into the game after I've done the livery design, and then you're having to do that each time. So yeah, it's the ride height at the moment. The rear end is 120 centimeters, I believe it's centimeters, yeah. So I'm going to bring it down to my usual 12 to 14. So we'll go with 12 for now. And I usually do the same front to rear, but I might drop the front down a fraction. Again, it's not to make it look ultra low. I probably could do that if I really wanted to go for that stanced look. But we'll just leave it for now. Make it look like it's still a reasonable looking car to drive in rather than being absolutely dropped to the ground. I don't know on this one whether I need to go that far. If the car dynamics on this vehicle are the same as the CSL from Gran Turismo 6, this car should be a great car to drive. My favourite car in Gran Turismo 6 for driving was the M3 CSL. I think I had 5 or 6 of them in different colours / liveries, because the livery tool wasn't as developed as it is in this version of the game. But I just used to love driving it. I used to love the sound of that CSL. It was magic. You don't get the exact same sound in this car. It's similar but not exactly the same. But it was great. I'm just going to drop the gearbox final drive down a bit as well. I think it's good for about 405 k's from memory in full spec in the old game, so it will be interesting to see what it's like here. So these guys look like they're just lapping, so I'll just do the same. They look like they're doing, you know, high speed runs, so it doesn't look like they're policing anything, so we'll just go out and give it a crack. They're probably all in race cars too, I suggest. I'm going to turn the volume down a bit because that engine noise is a bit overpowering, sorry. Alrighty. Be interesting to see what it's good for a lap. Now my throttle, my pedals I should say, have been playing up a bit. Still, I do have a email from Logitech giving me some guidance around some resets that can be done. I haven't tried that yet. I've just been trying to trying to clear it out with a straw, basically. Oh, don't you hate it when people do dumb stuff like that? Seriously, there's just no need for it. People are just morons. So I think it's only fair I repay the favour. Get out of the road, you turkey. And usually the people that do that stuff are the ones that don't have a clue how to drive. And all they can do is get out there and spoil other people's fun by being, frankly, dickheads. that was an unintended drift. Whereas these guys here appear to be drifting on purpose. So it's, yeah, I mean the setup I've done, there's a little bit of understeer, but overall it's pretty neutral. So it should do a fairly decent lap for a road car. I didn't actually pay attention to how much power it's up. If I think back to what it used to do, I think it was roughly around 500 when you fully modified it. 500 bhp, I think. So again, not a ridiculous, you know, increase in power, but enough. Maybe I've made the gearbox a bit too long for this track. As you can see, there is another gear that I'm not using yet. There it is. Just trial braking because I wasn't able to pull it up in time to find the real apex. So that's cost me a bit of time as a lap, but let's see. I think I'll comfortably get under that 220. Confident of that. Yeah, so that's pretty neutral through there. I didn't have to do much adjusting from my turn-in input. Bit of understeer, but you expect that at that sort of speed. I was able to get on the throttle nice and early. So what these guys have been doing, they must be all drifting, I think. Oh, oops, on the wall. Because that lap time, frankly, for some of the cars I've already seen on track is atrocious. Oh, jeez, that's bad, wasn't it? My throttle was sticking there, I didn't hear it. It's actually going to be a fairly decent lap time, to be honest, as a road car. And I made quite a few mistakes, so I'm confident I could eke out probably another 2, maybe even 3 seconds on this lap time. Well, you saw me touch the wall back there. That's got to be at least 5 or 6 tenths on its own lost, maybe even more. Yeah, 6, I'd give it a chance really to wind out in 6. Okay, it's dropping back up the hill. Brake a bit earlier, so they can find the apex better this time, which I've almost done. Well, I've got the exit one. This is a double apex corner, obviously. Oh, but I was actually, yeah, see, I think I'm down on time because I went into 6th gear earlier. Steer again, yeah. Turned in a bit too early then, that's my... Just about half throttle through there just to hold the line. Just a safety back to 3rd there. I don't know whether it would take the corner in 4th, but just to be safe. Whoops, whoops, whoops. So there you go, you can invoke a slide. As I just did then, if you're going fast enough through there. Obviously lost bulk time then. But if I get this corner up here right, I might make it up. I don't know, let's see. Not sure I was going to hit that guy, that was the same guy I'm pretty sure. I don't know what his caper is, but he needs some driving lessons. Did we make up time? No, we didn't. Wow. Alright, this time I'll leave it in 5th. I just want to see what happens with stop speed. any time, did I? So I'm hoping it'll continue to gain up the hill. It's holding, it's not gaining. I'll leave it in 5th. And this time we make the apex. Stay in 3rd. See, understeer there on full throttle, but if I'm a bit less on throttle here, or just a touch, you can see the ABS light flicker just then. That's because my pedals are playing up. It's probably not as bad if the brake pedal flickers on as it is if the accelerator stays stuck on, because when you're trying to brake when it stays on, you basically screw up your corner. So I won't go as hard through there. This time. So again, I've lost a few seconds there, probably a few, maybe 1 or 2 tenths by touching the wall. Just impacts your overall speed, obviously, because you're being slowed down, so. I'll brake super early for this because I don't want to do the same things I did last time. So it will go into oversteer, but you've got to be pretty violent with the throttle to get it to do that. And yet I'm still 2 tenths behind. Wow. I didn't think that first lap I did was that great a lap, but interestingly, I'm finding myself being behind that lap each time. Yeah, just under 2 tenths. Just progressive with that throttle there, because if you hammer it, you'll just get big oversteer happening and slow your lap time down. So I'm going to brake later here, go back a second. No. Trying to be greedy, that's what happens. That understeer is a bit frustrating for me, to be honest. I hate understeer. I try to set my cars up so that I don't have any. It usually makes them more oversteery as a result, but I can find that I can cope with that much easier than with understeer. I do not like a car not going where I turn the wheel to go. Hence I don't like front wheel drive cars. Talk about going in too early. Okay, I'm up by half a tenth this time, so that's a bit better, even despite the fact that I hit the wall at the start. Just goes to show you how little things can upset your lap time and your rhythm, basically. So there you go, at 2:01. Like I said, I am positive that you can get this thing around here in under 2 minutes. People that can drive better than me would definitely be able to get it around under 2 minutes. Damn, thought I had enough speed off to get off the brake then, but I didn't. Trying to work out my brake point here. Last time I went in too late, so I'll stay in 3rd gear, gives me that understeer, but hopefully I'll use old mate again. looks much better. It's probably the best I've gone through there so far, so I'm hopeful that I'll see purple here. Yes, good. Get a tow, so this lap is probably going to be artificial because I'm getting pulled along here by old matey's little go-kart. Oh dear. Yeah, I don't think I really made up 7/10 there on my own. I think maybe 3 or 4, and the rest of it was the tow from that little car, the KTM. I keep thinking I've slowed it down enough to really turn in there, and then I miss the apex because I haven't. Yes, I'm floating it right to the edge without hitting the wall, but I hit the wall. Not good when you hit the wall. Come on, pull up, baby. Okay, so that's the latest I've broken into there, and I've managed to get through there okay. Hopefully this might get us close to a sub 2 minute. No, only 5/10 down. I guess it all depends whether I got a better exit speed out of there as to whether I'll pull any more. Oh, somebody in an M3. Let's hold off because I think the person in the M3 back there is either trying to say to me they want to race me or drag me, something like that. French guy. Not sure what he's doing. He's going slow, whatever he's doing, he's rolling. Okay, now he's decided to go. Now, as I said, my gearbox is too long, but anyway, we'll see what happens. He wants to drift. Oh, sorry, I'm not into the drift thing. You drift. I'm just going to do good laps. So I might make this the last lap, and then I might jump into one of the other newer cars. I imagine that, you know, watching me go around the track like this every lap is only interesting for maybe 1 or 2, not 7. and I'm certainly not going to beat the lap time this lap because I just was mucking around with that guy. What I've learned about this track is the closer you get into the walls, the less chance there is of any negative camber on the track. But if you don't get in there, I don't think it's the racing line dynamic that they do have in this game, which is effectively giving you like a marble effect offline. I think it's all about the camber of the road. See that? I don't think that's marbles, I think it's just camber because we're not able to get any traction on the front, weight over the front wheels to do the turning. Looks like everybody's leaving. If this guy leaves, we'll leave as well. There he goes. Alright, let's jump out and see if we can find a day track. Bye-bye, room. I will exhaust my efforts at another time on my own, trying to bring that laptop down. But I could do it, I think, pretty easily just by shortening the gearbox up, to be honest. But yeah, I think definitely shortening that gearbox up and bringing it down to about a 325 kilometer top speed would have definitely got me a sub 2 minute lap based on what I was doing. Let's update, make sure we've got all the tracks that are currently open showing. Sometimes trying to take this shortcut that I'm doing right now, which is going directly to the track, sometimes the way the game works with its own little idiosyncrasies won't show you if there's a car show going on. What's this one? Oh, that's definitely a Middle East room only. I'm going to go in there. I could get kicked out, I don't know. They generally don't seem to do that, which is great. Let's see. It would also be interesting to see the difference in lap times at the current spec. Day versus night. See that dynamic in the game, or the physics of the game. I don't know whether you like that livery, whether I should have left it as standard or I should have done those little changes or subtle touch-ups, highlights as I should call them. Oh, it's wet. Okay, let's have some fun in the wet, shall we? Generally speaking, the super soft tyres do not like the wet, so let's see what happens. Usually the cars just understeer and oversteer very, very badly. So let's see. Again, it doesn't appear like anybody's done a full lap on in a car. That's bizarre, isn't it? How do you do that? It's like 14 people in the room, wasn't there? Or 10 or 11. Alright, here we go. So at the moment I've got traction at that speed, but as soon as I gas it up here, okay, that was pretty bad. That wasn't bad at all. I'm doing a bit of a cruise. Wow. So far I haven't had any ABS's mucking around. Have not had one bit of oversteer happening on. I guess we'll find out now. Not too bad, the understeer. I wonder what level of rain they've got it turned on for. Oh yeah, understeer there. So far, I've not had the tail step out at all. That's the closest it's been. And that was really more a four-wheel drift than a rear oversteer. Even that's almost the same traction I was achieving in the dry. I don't know whether the game's realised I'm not on wet tyres yet. Because it's handling like a trooper. Oh, there you go, the first one. First slide we've had. It was easily controllable, which again is unusual. Usually they just step out and go bang. I see a rooster tail in front of me, which means we're catching somebody. Or am I going the wrong way? Maybe I'm going the wrong way. I don't know. A lot of cars going the other way just then. They're doing a drag or something maybe, I don't know. They seem to be going the same way as me. Or... meanwhile, if I don't get off the brakes, I'm never going to turn this around. That's the key, guys, if you're driving in the wet. Oh, sorry. Oh, good. There you go, that's the first bit of oversteer I've got. And he's a rail runner. Very frustrating, those guys, because they're not driving good, they're just cheating. Oops, I'm going to do the same thing. Except mine wasn't intentional, his was. Mine? You? Oh, come on! Stupid turkeys. And that's what happens when you're on racing softs. As soon as you get a spin like that. Guy's in an all-wheel drive car, so he's got a big advantage and a massive power advantage, and he still can't get the thing to get around the corner. And he wants to hit me as well. Turn me around. Thanks, turkey. What is it with these guys? They can't drive, so they have to wreck it for everyone else. One more time. With any luck, I won't get obstructed. I can put down a clean lap, which I'm hoping is better than a 2:29. The idea of going back to second is it just gives you more throttle control, so if you do get a slide happening... Geez, that's really bad through there. You can try to control it, I guess. I'm getting a lot of understeer there. I managed to avoid the wall. He's trying to ruin my lap again. Guys are about, but they're pretty shocking. the same things I did last time through here, although I am getting big understeers there. If you can see the in-car shot, you can probably see the amount of steering lock I had on it, and I was going straight ahead basically. So these guys are just doing drags up and down the straight. Around the back. I tried to turn those for taking those dudes out then. Cost me time, but at least I didn't hit anybody else. Determined not to hit the wall this time. No, couldn't get it turned in. There he goes again, sliding almost at the wall, like to touch it, but bugger off, dickheads. I could have just ruined my lap time then. Said I was in purple, but I'm not. I no longer have the same speed. There you go, see? Was up, and that little touch by that moron was enough to screw me over. Well, there's no one here, I can be a bit more aggressive through there. I'm really impressed by the traction from the diff. Understeer there. Back off early and get right in the corner here, I can get the power down and not hit the wall. Okay, just backing off here to make sure I get through. A bit of oversteer there when I did it like that, but that's okay. Slower through there, I think. That's okay, I should still be in purple. And so far I haven't hit anything. Look at that. Going back off here, I will hit something. Do not want to get into that slide again there. But I don't want to go to that wall either, so... drag thing again. Someone's coming. Hopefully they're on the other side of the road. Ah! It's alright. Avoided. That'll do. I'll go and play with them if they don't mind. I did say I was going to jump into some other cars, didn't I? Race car. So these are the guys that just have their cars set up in what they call the drift mode. They don't know how to drift, so set up in drift mode, which means the game takes over for them. I don't get it. I do not see the point. Excuse me. That worked for you, didn't it? Really? You're that shit and you can't turn a car? You're not watching, mate. Can you not see headlights coming behind you? Fucking hell, how hard is it? It's called a mirror. Alright. Let's give the Diablo a crack, because I don't think I've driven it yet. The Diablo is the car that I did the other day. Don't know if I've actually driven it yet. Must have, because it's got a setup on it. Well, that's a good thing, isn't it? Oh, has it? Put some stuff on it, but not full power, obviously. Right, now it's got full juice. I definitely set up the suspension, that's good. Are you ready to roll? Now, if remember, this is all-wheel drive too, I think. Could be wrong. Big V12 bellow. Fuck's sake! Who was that? Fuck you, idiot! I fucking slam into this cockhead. Where are ya? Bitch, missed him. Fucking wanna clean him up. Merry Christmas, fuckwit. That's for fucking hitting me, dickhead. It's not slow. Alright, wonder what it's like around a lap. Let's find out. The radio on your turkey. You little shit. Well, you can probably take 3 or 4 seconds off whatever lap time this will end up being, but oh, actually it's not a lap yet, so it doesn't matter. Expect this to have a more understeer, I guess, because all the weight's over the back and in the wet. Yeah, it's not too bad. just a bit there. Could have been sticky throttle then, because I just didn't want to slow down. Could have been front wheels locking up too. You're not going to hear them skid in the wet. See how early I had to brake then because of the speed the car had in the wet to pull it up. Because these are not light cars. I think this one's still going to be around the 1500 kilo mark. Even though I had to brake a lot earlier than the BMW, I'm still in front. Yeah, my throttle is sticking a bit. I could hear it just then. It's caused me to go into the wall just then. Big understeer. I was just aquaplaning then. You could hear the wheel. Big understeer through there too. Little oversteer. Come on, get off the wall. I wanted to get the power down just then I couldn't. Turkeys on the straight doing, because this is always the challenge. Get to this point and then you can see a wall of cars coming at you. Like it's coming right now, so I don't know what I'm going to do here. There's one car bouncing, there's another car sliding, and oh, I just avoided it. There you go, I'm in the wet, 201. Can't get any power down there. Still into the water. Again, wow. Can you hear my throttle then? Sometimes I have to blip it like I'm actually doing a proper clutch gear change to get the sticky throttle to stop sticking. That was a good idea. Okay. There it was again. Now I'm going to go into the wall. Yeah. It's amazing how it impacts the car, you know, just because it's accelerator on basically. Up, but not by much. Not as much as we should be. wild. Might not have looked it. Okay, 3/10 up. Tense up, don't hit the wall. I had to brake mid-corner then to try and stop the slide. Oh, big slide. But managed to keep it. Oh, there's a massive slide there, as you can hear. Okay, according to this, I'm going to do a sub 2-minute lap. Ah, that's just cruel. There he is again. What is it with you guys? Are you blind? Are you really that blind? Seriously, you're blind, mate. I swear you're blind. You can see a car coming the other way. It's called an arrow. Yeah, what do you do? Not your room, you can't kick them out. And they're doing what they want to do. You just think that they'd be smart enough to be looking at the maps and seeing cars coming and, yeah, anyway. Waiting or picking a side of the road or something. Not swerving all across the road when they know there's a car coming the other way. What do we got? Nothing else. Let's try this room. Oh, I didn't want to be on for this long. I didn't expect to be doing a broadcast for this long either. I'm just hoping I can find a room that's daylight and then I can change view modes and you can see the cars better. I quite like this. It's such a simple livery that I've done, to be honest, but it's a very effective one. Please subscribe, by the way, to Iflowboy at YouTube. Yeah, look, I'd like to get more subscribers. I think that's everybody's goal when they start a channel. Oh, Lethal Gamers in here. Oh, maybe they are doing a car show. Righto, let's just see what we got going on here. Soon find out, I guess, if they're all parked up the end, it's a car show. But they're not, they're all around the track. So that's good. 5-minute 30 lap time, what the heck's going on here? That Lethal Gamer. Nice to see you again. That's my throttle sticking, you could see it then, you could see how the car was like accelerating. Somebody's out there with a police car getting people for speeding, so we'll see whether we can find them. Yep, stick it again. It's funny how it doesn't do it at the start of when I first start playing, but as you keep driving, the dust picks up. Champ, what are you doing? What are you doing, idiot? What are you doing, stupid turkey? You're crashing into people? Fuck off, idiot. Throttle sticking, then you can hear it. I take my foot off the accelerator and it still revs. It's very distracting if you're trying to do hot laps and you're coming up to a corner and you're at the absolute braking limit to slow the car down. You drop your gears down, your foot's off the accelerator, but the car is surging. The car is surging forward because it's still revving. What are you doing, mate? I'm not speeding, stop hitting me. Get on the road, you turd. Oh, you fucking idiot! What a cockhead! What a fucking cockhead! Come on, let me out of here. I sent this guy a message. Sorry for swearing, but really he was being stupid. You could see what I was doing. I was just driving behind him, trying to look at his car because it was a GT1, and I hadn't seen one on the road before, and the morons bounced me. What a fliphead. What was his name? Something bad boy. Geez, I get frustrated when that happens. Seriously, it's so stupid. I know. Alright, you turkey. That's the previous lobby. 8 minutes ago. Come on, I'm gonna do a... No, get out of it. Do a search. He was something bad boy, wasn't he? Be here all day. Okay, different strategy. I should still be able to see the room. So, if I go back, his room will still be going, and then I can send him a message and teach him to wake up. Because he's obviously a moron. And yet I can't see the room now. Why is that? I'm sure it's that one. Can't see Lethal Gamer there though. Maybe I can't see it because I got kicked out. Okay. Show rooms with friends. Pretty sure Lethal Gamer is... Oh no, that's not... Race Driver's my friend, so he's not in that room. Oh, sure Lethal Gamer was my friend. Room search. Regulation. No. So there's no other rooms to see now. Only those. So if I go out... didn't mean to go out. But if I go out and go back in, I'm hoping that the room lobby will update. And now I'm hot again. I'm going to end the broadcast and then I'll try to find this chap and I'll report on my next broadcast if I do manage to find him and we have a chat. And I hope that he realises that I wasn't speeding, I was just following him in his car. And he needs to understand the difference between somebody speeding and not. Ooh, there's a car show. Alright, I'll enter that and then I'll try to find this chap. Geez, I wish I paid more attention to what his name was. It's funny, you know, I remember when the Diablo came out, I was really against it because it obviously replaced the Countach, and the Countach was like my aura car when I was young. And it's funny, I look at it now and I can admire it and appreciate it, but for so long I couldn't. Yeah. Let's see if I can find this guy. I'm just hoping that the thing's updated. This is the problem. They changed the game. It used to be there straight away and now it's not. See, look at this. This is 12 minutes old lobby and that's yesterday's lobby. And I don't know how you update it. No, I don't want to see when friends go online. That's not what I'm chasing. Options. No. I just want to see that guy, because I can't remember his whole name. Well, I'll have to worry about it shortly. I know it was Bad Boy, I've just got to remember. What are we doing? Mazda M3. Maybe I should get the M3 again. Go for a Fang with the other M3. Oh, there he goes. Japanese, says Turbo Tom. In that case, better get out of this car then. And I may jump into my RX-7. So it's very much a night of cars I used to own, because before I got the M3, the car that I used to own was this one. Of course it doesn't have the same livery stuff on it, but the core colour, which you'll see in a second because I've changed the view mode, is indeed the same colour. It was called Montego Blue, and you need to see it in the light. It's a very deep blue bordering on dark green, and depending on the way you looked at it in the sun or out of the sun, you could say it was green or you could say it was blue. I've put a lot of liveries on it, but hopefully you can see that colour there. And I do not know how to turn my lights off. I've tried and I've tried and I've tried. I cannot turn them off. I can flash them, but I cannot turn them off. Every button I push won't do it. Well, I'm here, no one else is here. Should I clean up? Maybe I should clean up and get all these witches' hats out of the road first. Try and help out the room owner. Start the run. Formula 1 car, yeah, that's Japanese. At least this guy knows what he's doing. He's just turned the room settings off. Room settings still not right. Okay, sorry folks, we're just waiting for the room owner to fix up the settings so that when all the cars are parked for the car show, they're not ghosting, you can see them. And hopefully everything seemed to be right, without going back in and checking my room. Thanks. Now that we're stopped, we should be all good. People would stop hitting me anyway. Damage needs to be turned off. person hits me, I'm gonna fucking spew. Where'd that dickhead go? Fuck off, idiot. Really? So we're in a car show. For those of you who haven't seen a broadcast before, watching for the first time, you basically have a category selected, you jump in the particular car. If you have more than one, you obviously have to pick one. In my case I have lots for most categories. There are some where I don't. Oh boy, get rid of that person, whoever that is, and that person as well. But basically you jump in the car, you come to this part of the track, because we always use the east inner loop, and there'll be a judge, and when it starts off it's usually the room owner that starts with the first round, and they will select the first, second and third, and yeah, based on what they think about all the cars on display. And then the winner of that round picks the next category, and then they become the judge. Now obviously the cars are looking very second hand because the visible damage is turned on and you've got everybody whacking into each other, as you've seen. So at the moment the cars are looking very second hand. My car is probably one of the better ones in terms of damage, but it's still messy. Who won? Can't even read that. It wasn't me. And then what you do is you generally drive off around the track whilst the next boy, oh boy, what are you doing? Okay, damage has been turned off. Beautiful. German category. Oh well, what will we pick out of the German category, everybody? Ah, so many cars. Do I do the JPS thing, or do I choose something else? Do I do the new M3? Let's do that. What I'm trying to understand is the category was Japan, but I think the guy that just won it was in an M3, which is obviously German. Fuck's sake. What the fuck is wrong with these people? Oh, you fuck off with your freaking... Alright, so what happened? Somebody gave me a whack and moved me out of the way. Thank you. Turkey. Still undecided about the bonnet thing. What's this clown doing next to me? Cargiolis. Just do this, idiot. Where are you? Cargiolis. There. Fuck these guys. Oh, really? Come on. Fuck you, mate. I'm fucking ramming you, you cockhead. Interesting. Golf GTI time, I feel. Hatchbacks, not a fan. Boxes. But I like this livery, if I do say so myself. They've got no idea, have they? Oh, I could pull my feet out, couldn't I suppose? Doesn't get much of a run. Ah dear. The joys. Here we go. I wonder if our really weird person from the United States is going to turn up tonight. Claims he's 14, obviously isn't, has a definite issue. It's the most interesting way of looking at the cars that I've seen in a while. This guy's going all over the place. You just need to drive along the front, along the back, along the front again. Unless they're all parked too close to each other down the other end, which, as I mentioned earlier in some text, telling people to leave space, is more than possible. And here comes the decisions. Oh, I got a third. Poor Golf, he usually scores a first. Let's see what silly things that have been downloaded he's going to award instead. I find when you enter shows, people that are less experienced make interesting decisions. So he gave second to Turbo Tom. What was Turbo Tom in? I guarantee you, Turbo Tom is not in an original livery. Yeah, there you go. Crank this one out. You know, he said he likes clean designs. I don't think I've given this one a run before. I don't think I have. It's on sports hards and traction controls turned on. That's usually a sign I haven't driven it yet. And it says I've done 1.2 kilometres, which is probably that trip just then. Oh, stop it, dickhead. God, why is it people get in these rooms and think they're the only people on the planet that know how to do a burnout and that no one else has ever seen one before? Get over it, you juvenile delinquents. Feeling he was kicked out. Not a bad news story if he was. He's got to understand what Japan is. Another download. Look at this fuckwit. Come here, you cockhead. fuckwit. bit boring. Where's the judge? Don't get an improvement here, I will cease the broadcast. Really? A 275 GB? this will be my last round, guys, so I'm going to end the broadcast now. Thanks for watching, thanks for showing interest. Please subscribe, and we'll see you next time. I'm coming out in the Mini. You can have a quick squeeze at that if you want to. It's nothing too flash, except it's got spring roll number plates, as in Mini spring roll. Bit of a humorous attempt there. Yeah, alright. I will see you all next time. Please watch all my videos if you have the time. Like I said, please subscribe. Okay.